What's up, dude? Over my 20 years of professional cooking, I've learned that the mashed potatoes can truly make or break your meal. Fortunately, making the perfect mash is as easy as knowing a few simple techniques and owning one very important tool. And I'll tell you what, if you follow the steps in this video, I can guarantee that your mashed potatoes will be the star of the dinner plate. Now let's go! Now the first and probably most important step is what potato you're gonna use. I chose Golds. They just make probably the best mashed potatoes if you ask me. And whenever you're choosing a potato, I don't care if it's organic or not, make sure that thing is hard as a rock. That is gonna make the best mash, that's gonna make the best fries, that's gonna make the best roasted potatoes, and whatever else you do with potatoes. If for some reason your potato is soft and you can sort of push it and mold it a little bit, run from that thing like you ran from your toxic ex-girlfriend. You do not want that. Step number one, peel. Simple as that, just like so. And if you want, you can absolutely wash up these peels and fry them for an incredible little snack. It is actually so much better than any potato chip you'll probably ever try. And if for some reason you want to do this with the kids, stick a fork in the potato just like that, and they can peel it like this and don't have to worry about any cuts, and then just do the top like so. The next step is going to be to chop these into chunks, and you just want them to all be the same exact size. That's most important. With these, I'm just doing quarters because that seems very appropriate. This one's a little bigger, so I might go 6, and straight into some cold water just like this. And now with your potatoes in the water, we're going to turn that on to high heat, and once those potatoes come to a simmer, I'm going to go ahead and season up that water. I think this is pretty clutch, probably about almost a tablespoon of kosher salt going in there, and we'll just simply let them roll until they're perfectly cooked. While your potatoes cook, we can just go ahead and make our dairy mixture, which is super simple. It's just good to have it hot and ready to go. I don't believe you should dump cold dairy products onto hot potatoes. That doesn't work out well. So I'm starting with 1 cup of milk, just going into a little pot. 1/2 cup of heavy cream. You could also absolutely just do all milk if you don't want to use cream. You want to lighten it up a little bit, that's fine, because the next ingredient is a whole bunch of butter anyway, right? This is about 4.3 ounces or 120 grams roughly of unsalted butter. Now all we need to do is melt that butter into the milk, into the cream. We don't need to boil this, we just need to make sure it's all melted and hot. It's been about 25 minutes at this point. I'm just poking my potatoes with this little thermometer. It's going right in. They're perfectly done. Let's go ahead and strain them off. In they go. For this next step, you could ask 1,000 chefs what's the secret to really perfect restaurant-style mashed potatoes, and I think all of them are gonna tell you this. It's a ricer, which is basically just a little device. You put the potatoes in, and they smash through into this fine little texture, which makes for a very, very smooth mashed potatoes, and it's something you just can't achieve with a hand masher. Not that hand mashers are bad, it's just these texturally are just, there's no comparison. If you don't have one, it's a cheap tool. It will last you for years. I'll put a link to the one I use down in the description. And all you gotta do is put some potatoes in here. Don't overload it too much. Little thing goes there, and you just push through and it'll just rice it out like that. I actually really like doing it, kind of satisfying. And just simply repeat that process with all your potatoes, and that's all she wrote. Now all we need to do, pour over our dairy. I like to do not quite all of it at once, just in case there's a little bit of difference here. You can always add more, but it's hard to take away. And we're just gonna fold this in. I'll also do a little more salt at this point. There is a lot of salt permeated into the potato from the boiling, but it usually needs a little more. And so what I like to do here is just gently bring this together. The biggest mistake you can make right now is really overworking these potatoes, because if you mix them for too long, they can get really gummy, and you don't want that. But I've got the ratios of dairy to potato really well for this recipe. And you know how thick you like your mashed potatoes is really personal preference. Some people like less dairy, some people like more. I'm probably on the side of slightly more. And just look at that. You guys can already see the texture we're getting out of these potatoes. They just look divine and fluffy. At this point, you want to give it a taste just for seasoning to make sure it's done. I like salt. I'm doing a pinch more. For you, they might be perfect without adding any more salt, but I think they just need a little. And so for this recipe, my friends, I wanted to keep it really simple. If you want to add more things in here, you can. You can do some herbs. I love chives, and horseradish in mash is really good. You could put Parmesan in here to make Parmesan mashed potatoes. The world is yours. I just wanted you to understand that base recipe, and then you can take it where you want to take it. All I'm going to do now is plate some up, finish with a little pad of butter, melted on top. I love the way that looks, and we'll give it a taste with Marcus. All right, Marcus, mashed potatoes. Smooth, smooth criminal. texturally speaking.
These potatoes are Michael Jackson.
And honestly, I love potatoes just by themselves, but if you are looking for the complete combo, I make the best gravy ever. I will put a link to that recipe right now in the corner. I will also do it at the end of this video. So let's taste this again with gravy, Marcus, because
Drown them.
dude, mashed potatoes and gravy is literally one of my favorite things.
One of everybody's favorite thing.
In terms of comfort food,
Tastes so classic too.
there's something about, like, I don't know, this is just makes me feel like everything's gonna be okay, even though it's definitely not. Amazing.
I will say, Sonny buys nice butter, and if you're making these, especially for the holiday, you wanna blow everybody's socks up, if you can, you should get nice butter. It's potatoes, butter, cream. You should buy nice ingredients.
Yeah,
It's so few.
It's well said, Marcus. If it's only 3 ingredients, focus on those.
And you can really taste it.
And by the way, I don't use like really expensive butter. I mean, I just use like Kerrygold butter, not associated with them or making money with them, but that's just the one I buy. Absolutely delicious, man. That's gonna really hit the spot. Hope you enjoy. So now you know how to make the perfect mashed potatoes, but you're really gonna need the gravy recipe that is right here to complete the package. On another note, if you need an incredible stuffing recipe, that's right there. And if you like written recipes, check out my Master in the Making ebook that will be linked in the description with 55 of my personal favorite recipes. Otherwise, I hope you have a super, super tasty Thanksgiving, and until next time, you know I love you and I'm out!